So when the system loads, you have the option of having a second browser load at the same time, which is called the dashboard. You don't have to have it, and I think by default, most people don't have it, right? Is that true? By default? Aaron, you know? Most people have it by default, but they don't have it. But the idea is you can have in real time, accessible to you in a secondary browser that you can leave open, any graphical reports that you want. So some of the ones that we have here by default are sales by top 20 customers in the last 12 months. So essentially the system just taking the information from the database, pulling up your top 20 customers, and then giving you an idea of what your sales are. Hi. You're Diana, isn't it? Hey, how are you? So then, right there from your homepage, you can get a sense of who your top 20 customers are and your total sales to that customer within the last 12 months. Also, this is another one, is sales by customer group. So if you have customers grouped by industry, for example, and you just wanted to get a picture of, give me my total sales by industry in the last 12 months in kind of graphical format, you can get that too. And this gets updated and refreshed in real time, so you can have something more meaningful than looking at the last 12 months if you want to go. If you wanted to look at your sales for that day, for example, by customer, that's another thing you could do. So we don't push this a lot for whatever reason, because some people find it a nuisance, this second browser that opens immediately, but I think it's worth knowing that that option exists, particularly just as a management tool. If you're only concerned with a few different pieces of information in the system, you don't necessarily have to go hunting through to find your reports that you want. You just have it as a dashboard that loads.
So, to go a little bit further on that, I was just going to say that it draws from the alert section. It draws from the alert section. So in reality, it doesn't have to be this graphical representation. Any of the alerts that are shown here can also be part of the dashboard in just that standard view and update in real time also. And obviously what you're seeing on the dashboard that Tim loaded up is some of these graphical representations are also, they would be the data grid, the Excel version, or the grid version that is also available here. So you've got the same two things here, and any of these alerts could also be shown in the dashboard. There's a lot of other configurable stuff on each one of these dashboard displays, whether it's a pie chart or a bar chart like this. And there's vertical and horizontal. I mean, we tried to take some of the tools that Excel has in graphical reporting and apply them, take as many as we could into this, apply them. So you've got a bunch of different ways you can look at it, whether it's this sort of, I guess this is a bar graph, and scatters and lines and all these other options. There are a bunch of other things we can do without modifying any coding to these. And as Tim said, I mean, the possibilities here are endless in terms of graphical representation, because if you think about it, every report that we've been able to build so far could essentially turn into a graph, just as you might do in Excel already. Take a VISCO report and turn it into a graph. We can do the same thing here and have that be just part of your every time you log in the morning. I mean, this is obviously primarily a management tool to be able to see just these sort of basic graphical summaries of items that are shown in the system.
I was going to say too, this is also customizable per user. It should be obvious, but if you don't set up per user what specific graphs or what reports each user sees on their dashboard and which ones they don't.
Do we have to also turn it on for us, or can we turn it on ourselves and do it ourselves?
You do have to ask us to turn it on.
And what about configuration? What shows up there?
Yeah, actually, I think probably once we turn it on, what might be appropriate is to send like a list, really to everyone here and to everyone, of the things that can be configured without any code changes, and then also, in your particular case, we'll say, well, here's what's appearing right now. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe there's just these standard things. And do you want to take any of your existing alerts and turn them into items on the dashboard? And if so, in what graphical representation do you want to do that? Or do you want to add new alerts? And then can sort of give you some suggestions and ideas there based on their others we've done for others. But yeah, this step one is turn it on, right? So that's we can do that and then send you a list of the configuration changes. I think that's about the next step.
Andy,
Yep.
can you have it specific to salespeople?
Yeah, I mean, I guess because you would, as I understand it, you can, this is an area where I wish maybe you could help me out a bit, because again, we haven't done a ton of this for whatever reason, lack of promotion or whatever, but I believe it's just you specify on a user by user basis. So if each salesperson has a user, you could say this salesperson has a user sees these, and this salesperson has a user sees these. But to like say, this is a group of users called salespeople, and the group of users called salespeople can see all these. I don't know if it's that.
Well, because we have that in our content management software. It's opportunity tags, and it's got a bunch of dashboards. This is very similar to that. So this will be more real time on the VISCO side versus what we're doing on the other side. So yeah, we could give our salesperson that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, that you would filter. Yes, no, sorry, I missed the question maybe, because what you're saying is could the dashboard item actually take the user that is logging into account when they're filtering out the results? And that is, the answer to that is yes. Yes, definitely. Because that's true of every alert / dashboard item. I know, like, I feel like it's, where was it? A bunch of his alerts are pre-filtered by the user who's looking at that alert. Or a bunch of his, I mean, I don't know that he's using the dashboard, but it's the same concept, the same code behind both parts of the system. It's all pre-filtered based on the user